Surprise, surprise. We got white immigrant Elon Musk going down to the US-Mexico border to show how much he hates brown immigrants. He wouldn't be going to the US Canadian border if it was a bunch of white Canadians coming into the United States.
So here we are at Eagle Pass. I'm Tony Gonzalez. I'm the local congressman here in the district. Right here under the bridge, you're seeing hundreds of people getting processed, and this is every single day.
So it's just sort of like that's the bridge, and there's like people getting processed, and then they come across on those the trains over there.
Yeah, exactly.
Why don't they allow these people to be in buildings? Why are they forcing them to sit in the dirt and the heat in order to be processed? Why do right-wingers treat immigrants, especially brown immigrants, like garbage when they heavily rely on immigrants to do various jobs in the United States?
It's like an initial intake spot, and then they'll send them through, but it's nonstop all day long.
People just want to understand exactly what's going on, but assume that people do not know what.
Oh no, there's such a problem. People want to move into the United States and work and help build up the United States. That's bad because they're brown people. That's the only reason why there's a so-called border crisis. It's because there's a bunch of white right-wingers who hates the idea of brown people being in the United States.
What's going on?
Well, you got to go back some time, and whenever the open border policies from the White House kind of got thrown out there, we've been overrun.
How long was that? How long ago was that?
Cool. What year was that?
2 years ago.
We're
on our third year.
We've been battling it for 2 years, and
Okay.
so
you're saying there's been an open border policy essentially for the past 2 years?
it was an invitation.
Right. Right-wingers always want to claim that, like, Democrats always have this, like, open border invitation to people moving into the United States, even when they are doing all they can to keep immigrants from coming into the United States. Biden has not been kind to immigrants, so what they're saying here is just a flat-out lie. But hey, we all know right-wingers love to lie.
An invitation.
That's how I read it. That's how it was told from the White House. So
Okay.
they don't have a clue what's going on here, I don't think.
So was he told that, hey, when somebody crosses the border, just let them in, don't do anything? No, because that's not what happened. This dude is obviously lying.
Because if they did, maybe they would care. Maybe they would. I don't know.
How does the train impact you? Because the trains have been a big story lately. There's a train just over here. This is kind of where it starts, Elon.
Okay.
Where you see, all these thousands of people on a train. This is where they're coming through, but it doesn't end here. It just starts here.
Yeah.
Medina County is where they're going to make it to the big cities like San Antonio.
Two major rail lines come through my county, and on the
Isn't it funny when right-wingers complain that there's not enough people in the workforce to work all the jobs that are needed? And then when brown people come into the United States and be like, hey, yeah, we want to work, they're like, no, there's not enough room in America for brown people.
the illegals ride, they actually control the trains because they know how to crank down the brake on the car so that when it passes a heat sensor, the conductor has to stop the train, the illegals get off, the people come to get them, and all the stolen vehicles they're stealing from all over the country. Nearly every one of them is in a stolen vehicle.
The fact that we are.
Wait, nearly every one of these people is in a stolen vehicle? It looks like they're on a train at the moment.
Seeing all-time highs in illegal processing, that ramp is increasing.
Yes.
So these are really important points because the public isn't. I think it's not.
Oh no, more people than usual may want to move into the United States. That's evil. We can't have brown people moving in the United States. We can only have white people moving into the United States.
It's not necessarily clear to the public Is this normal, or are we, are we seeing an accelerating crisis?
It's not getting better. It's getting worse. Last Friday a week ago was a historic number, 11,000 people that.
It's kind of funny for right wingers to be all about, people having the freedom to do what they want as long as it doesn't hurt others. It is so against people using their freedoms to move into the United States because they're a brown person.
Came over.
Okay.
And then on Monday, that number increased. Today is Thursday, and that number increased. We're only going in the wrong direction. This is a week. What happens 2 weeks from now? It's the wrong way.
Okay.
How can you be the party of small government when you want to create one of the largest governments in order to keep the border closed and make sure only white people come into the United States? It just shows how hypocritical the right-wing party actually is.
So basically, we're seeing unprecedented, the all-time highs,
Yes.
and increasing.
And spreading.
Yes.
It's not in just one area. It's not just like it's just one city or one
Yes.
town, not even one state anymore. It's not, we're talking about New York today, but Chicago, you're hearing it there, LA, Denver. There's all these other places where it's just spreading, just continues to get
Okay.
bubbling up.
And just to quantify it, I think you said 2,000 a day or something, just in this location.
Just here, yeah, just here.
So that's like over 700,000 a year.
just in this one location, yeah.
Wow, 700,000 people. That's very little in comparison to like the general population of the United States, like 400 million people. 700,000? That's nothing.
Okay, just 700,000 sort of illegal immigrants a year, just in this one location.
Just in this one location.
Okay.
El Paso, right now in El Paso. and
Just
then-
that's higher than the population.
700,000 people that could be working in the United States or potentially working when they get older, paying taxes, helping the community, and these people hate that people want to come into the United States and help build up America. How does that make any sense whatsoever?
In Wyoming, FYI.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, and that's just one location. What is the total number from all locations roughly per
In the
year?
millions. I mean, it's
So
literally
millions.
millions, and those are just the folks that we know have engaged. What
Okay,
about
so
all the others?
That's just who was actually processed.
Yes, the gotaways are the ones that
Yeah, so meaning that like the actual number is much higher.
much higher.
I wonder how much they care about, white Canadians being illegal in the United States. Canadians are the second largest, sometimes, depending on the time, the first largest groups of illegals in the United States. And that's usually just because they have an expired visa. But nobody ever goes to the northern border and be like, we gotta stop all these white people from taking our jobs.
Okay, that's very important for people to know.
Yeah.
That the actual number is much higher. Is the official number something like 2 million or something? Where is it?
It varies, and it depends on who you ask, but
Okay.
I've seen it as high as 2.6 million. And that number just every year for the past 3 years has almost doubled. It was like 1.1.
It's
and then
doubling
just
year after year.
doubling year after year. It's compounding.
2.5 million people may have come into the United States. That just means more people working, more jobs being done, more people getting helped. But again, these people hate that it's brown people coming into the United States and working. When it's white people, there is no issue whatsoever.
Year after year because it's not just one part of the world either. It's all parts of the world that are coming. In El Paso.
Yeah, I think that's actually an important point to make because sometimes people think, well, people just come from Mexico, but this is not the case.
Not the case at all.
The reality is that this is an open border for all of Earth.
All of Earth.
And just so there's roughly 350 million people in the U.S., but there's 8 billion people on Earth.
Yes.
This is an open border to 8 billion people.
Yes.
Right, because all 8 billion people in the world are just going to move into the United States because the United States may allow more people, and that's not going to happen. There's that idea is like prevalent amongst a lot of right wingers, where if you open the borders, then everybody in the world is going to come into the United States, and it's like, no, that's not going to happen. There's a lot of people that really enjoy where they live because it's better than the United States.
What type of nationalities are coming through your county?
We're seeing anywhere from Honduras, El Salvador, I believe Ecuador, stuff like that. Even some
It's
Cubans
pretty much every
as
country,
well.
right?
Pretty much every country.
Yeah.
It's very rare that we see.
Pretty much every country, yet he only named a few countries. But the right wingers love to do this. They love to um, make a mountain out of a molehill. We have, like, a few groups of people coming from a few countries, so that has to mean 8 million people or 8 billion people from all over the world is moving to the United States. Right, because that is rational, and what we're seeing in reality.
See anybody just from Mexico. So,
Oh, it's actually rare to see anyone from
Right.
Mexico.
And then I'm 68 miles from the border. I'm 80 miles south of here from
Okay.
Eagle Pass.
How big is your workforce? How big is the sheriff's office?
My patrol staff's only 16 strong,
16 total.
Okay.
So how many do you have on call at one time?
maybe 2 at the most.
Two law enforcement officers to tackle. I mean, some of these counties that I represent, they're the size of states, and
Sure.
they've got 2 or 3.
What we actually need to do is just allow anybody who wants to move into the United States to be able to move into the United States, and then either contact the embassy or the Social Security Administration so that they can get processed to become an American citizen. All it should be is them requesting a Social Security number, and boom, they get it, and then boom, they're an American citizen.
People trying to tackle it all. This is where the local community just feel completely overwhelmed because Border Patrol agents used to be the front line, and now they're here. They're under the bridge. They're processing folks, so they're completely out of the game. So these law enforcement, the local law enforcement officers, are carrying all the weight.
Sort of roughly 2.5 million that processed illegals, and then it's maybe as much as twice double that or something. I don't know. So,
Gotaways. Yeah.
Call it like four-ish million, maybe 5 million total processed and unprocessed. How many of the 4 or 5 million legal immigrants are sent back to their countries every year?
I'll give you an example. Here in
How many American citizens are sent back to countries they never lived in just because racist people hate brown people being in America, and because they're descended from people from another nation, they're automatically assumed to be an illegal.
in Del Rio sector is one of 9 sectors. Okay, we're getting about 2,500 people coming over illegally a day, and we are repatriating.
What does it mean to come over illegally? What? You didn't have permission from Big Daddy government? I thought the right wing was against, Big Daddy government, but it seems like they bootlick Big Daddy government when it comes to brown people.
Or sending 0 back.
City of 28,000 people. We've had over 19,000 people in the last about 10 days come in. So we don't have the resources.
It's like wait, the more people are coming in by far, than it's exceeding the population of the town on a regular basis.
Absolutely.
This is across the board. I don't care if you're a D or an R, if you vote, don't vote,
Yeah.
urban America, rural America, everybody's impacted the same way. When the price
Yeah, when there's more people working in the United States, more taxes being paid, that means the United States gets better. When there is less people working, less taxes being paid, less farms and construction being done, that means America becomes worse because there's less food, which means food prices go up. But Republicans don't care about that. All they care about is removing as many brown people as possible, because Republicans want to create a white ethno-state.
Just hits your town. It's like a hurricane. When a hurricane hits you, everybody gets washed out.
Sure.
And it's no different. So this is.
But this isn't a hurricane. This is just people looking to move into the United States.
I think there's an opportunity here if we can message it in a manner of, this is about solutions. Hey, I get the finger pointing. It's easy to say why we got here. It's like, how do we just get out of here? And I think there are some real tangible solutions.